Hi, I'm Luna. I come here every day to share a gentle little story with you. If you enjoy quiet stories like this, feel free to subscribe and listen along whenever you need a soft moment. Tonight's story is called The Library Between Yesterday and Tomorrow. Every Wednesday afternoon, Lynn took the long way home so she could pass by the small hillside library. It was tucked between taller apartment blocks, its walls covered in ivy and a clock above the door that always ran 5 minutes slow. Most people hurried past without looking up, but to Lynn, the soft golden light in the windows felt like a quiet invitation. Today her backpack straps dug into her shoulders, and her head buzzed with unfinished homework and the question adults kept asking, "What are your plans for the future?" She told herself she didn't have time to stop, but her feet turned toward the library anyway. Inside, the air smelled like paper, dust, and a hint of lemon cleaner. The city noise outside faded into a distant hum. On the front desk, a handwritten sign read, "Quiet corner upstairs, for anyone caught between yesterday and tomorrow." Lynn followed the narrow staircase to the second floor, where a small alcove with a window seat waited behind a shelf of old atlases. The cushion was faded from blue to a soft sky color, and a laminated card on the sill said, "You do not have to be productive here. You are allowed to simply be." She sank into the seat and hugged her knees, watching rooftops overlap outside the glass as the afternoon light slowly turned honey gold. A librarian with gray streaks in her hair and a cardigan dotted with tiny moons appeared at the doorway, carrying a stack of returned books. "You found the in-between spot," the librarian said with a smile. "This is where people go when they aren't quite finished with yesterday and aren't ready to think about tomorrow yet." The words hit Lynn so precisely that she laughed under her breath. "That sounds a lot like me," she admitted. They spoke quietly for a while. Lynn confessed that she felt late to her own life, like everyone else had chosen a shelf to belong on and she was still wandering the aisles hugging unfinished ideas. The librarian listened without rushing her, then picked a slim book from her stack and set it on the sill, "Small Experiments in Living Slowly." "You don't have to know everything today," she said. "You don't even have to decide anything in this moment. This corner exists so you can practice being a person without answering any questions." Lynn traced the edge of the book cover and felt some tight knot inside her loosen just a little. She opened her phone, not to check notifications, but to write a small note, "Today I am allowed to not know yet. I am allowed to rest in the middle." She copied the sentence into the inside cover of her notebook where she usually kept plans and to-do lists, as if this permission also deserved a place on the page. When she finally stood to leave, the sky outside had turned a deeper gold and the rooftops were edged in shadow. At the top of the stairs she looked back at the window seat, the little sign on the sill, and the rectangle of light resting on the floor like a bookmark between day and night. "Thank you for saving me a page," she whispered to the room, unsure if she meant the book, the corner, or the version of herself that felt a bit lighter now. Outside, the city had not slowed down at all, cars still rushed by and someone laughed into their phone. But as Lynn walked down the hill toward tomorrow, she carried the quiet certainty that somewhere between yesterday and whatever came next, there was a place she could always return to and simply be in the middle. And that's the end of today's story. I'm Luna, thank you so much for listening. If this story kept you company, please consider subscribing, sharing it with a friend, or leaving your thoughts in the comments below.